Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, believe it or not, we're going to be talking about more potential snowfall for the northeastern United States. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting Patreon page where we post daily bonus content. That's going to be in the description in the pinned comment down below. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, how much snowfall do you think some areas could see from this snowfall event we're talking about in this video? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get right into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at our temperature anomalies, because this is going to be very important as we are going to be receiving some lake effect snowfall, which is directly driven by, temperatures moving over those lakes. So first things first, we're taking a look at this morning, Sunday, November 1st, and we're getting very close to the winter time actually. It's getting quite exciting. Let's just go ahead and move it towards about 8 a.m. tomorrow, which is going to be Monday, November 2nd. And as you can see, between those two time frames, tons of cold air moves into the eastern United States. And that's actually what yesterday's video was completely about. But this is going to be what's causing, first off, the lake effect snowfall, and second off, the chance for snow from a low pressure system that's going to be moving pretty close to the coast of New England. All right, now here's a look at our simulated radar for this afternoon, Sunday, November 1st. And as we can see, there is a lot of precipitation moving over the lakes, and also there's an area of precipitation there over the mid-Atlantic, the Delmarva. That's our area that is going to move offshore towards New England, and that's going to potentially bring some snowfall for some of our northern New England states. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards where we could start to see snow from these two forms and two types of precipitation. So here we are taking a look at, this is going to be maybe, I would say 7 or 8 p.m. tonight, so we're getting later into the day tonight. And as you can see, there is some low pressure offshore of actually Long Island and New Jersey there. We're starting to see that lake effect snowfall begin there, especially for Erie, Pennsylvania, areas in very far southwestern New York, also areas throughout Ohio. We're going to be seeing some snow showers. The heavier areas, it's going to be harder to pick up on where that's going to be located. That is always how it pretty much goes with these lake effect events. But I think Erie, Pennsylvania there, also that southwestern corner of New York is kind of the area I'm eyeballing for one of the heavier regions. Let's just go ahead and take it towards approximately 10 p.m. tonight, again Sunday, November 1st, and as you can see, the snow gets heavier there for portions of northwestern Pennsylvania and southwestern New York. Our low pressure center is moving northward, and we're seeing that colder air move in. So we're going to start to see more and more areas receive lake effect snowfall. And we're about to see our low pressure center actually begin to bring snowfall for some of those more northern New England states. Also, the Berkshires could get on some of that. So we're going to start to see more and more areas receive some snowfall as we move towards the overnight hours heading into Monday. Alright, now we're taking a look at approximately 2 a.m. here on Monday, November 2nd, and as you can see, that moderate to heavy snowfall is still occurring there for Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. They're right along those lake borders there. And also, as you can see, Lake Ontario is starting to bring some snowfall, some lake effect snowfall that is, into New York as those winds are coming pretty much directly from the west. That's going to allow for some heavy snowfall to be occurring there in portions of New York, just to the north of the Finger Lakes region, or I guess the northeast of the Finger Lakes region. And we're starting to see some snowfall mix in for Vermont, New Hampshire. Those areas are about to see a lot of snowfall move in as well. So actually what we're going to do here is we're going to move towards eastern Canada. I want to take a look at a feature here that's going to be crucial for our snowfall event here. And as you can see, we have our low pressure center there in between Canada and Maine. And it's moving, you can see that pretty much it's going to be moving north from that point. But what we actually see happen is it gets negatively tilted. And I know that's a term that probably not a lot of you know, but basically the cold air is going to start to move from the south of it. It's going to move east of the low pressure center. The low pressure center is going to slow down or even move westward, and we can see a kind of kink in the cold air there where the cold front to the south of the low pressure center has moved faster than the low pressure center is moving. and that's going to allow for us to start to see some snowfall occur for Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. So we're about to see that in a second. So what we're going to do is we are going to move on, and we're going to take a look at what that snowstorm is going to do once it moves further north into Canada and becomes negatively tilted. We're going to start to see some cold air move in, and we'll watch what that means for New England. All right, now here we are back where we were at about 2 a.m. on Monday. You can see the lake effect snow still. This is the same exact frame we were taking a look at before we zoomed into Canada. I wanted to show this so we can watch it progress. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to move on towards Monday at about 5 p.m. And as you can see, that eventually moves up into Canada. You can see it very, very far on the far upper right-hand corner there. And as you can see, that allows for some moderate to heavy snowfall to move into very far interior Maine, some areas in New Hampshire, Vermont, even northern New York there. We will see some snow showers that are associated with that almost directly there. And actually, as we move towards about 12 a.m. heading into Tuesday, November 3rd, we can see that there is actually some lake effect snow still going on from Lake Ontario there for New York. Actually, some pretty heavy amounts of that. That's actually going to be one of our heaviest snowfall regions once we take a look at the total snowfall according to our models, which we are going to go over many models today. And actually, as you can see, by the time we reach about, I would say 12 p.m. on November 3rd, we see some more snow showers head in from Canada and the lakes for New England. That's going to kind of amplify those snowfall amounts as well. So there's going to be multiple different little snowfall events that happen over the next few days that are going to lead to some accumulating snowfall as we have some very, very cold air move in. A very interesting setup we have here. And again, there's going to be lake effect snow. There's going to be the negatively tilted low pressure center. And then there's actually going to be this little quick area of snow showers that moves through as well. So that's like 3 separate sources of snowfall just over the next few days. Very, very interesting setup we have here. And you can see that there's actually some snowfall going on for the Berkshires, the Green Mountains again. That's the same area that saw a lot of snowfall during our last snowstorm. So we're going to get kind of a repeat as far, well, it's a different type of snowstorm and snowfall event, but really it's going to be similar areas receiving those impacts. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to move on and we're going to take a look at our total snowfall according to these models, the RGEM, the NAM, the GFS, the European model, our Canadian model, and even our German icon model. We're going to take a look at all of those in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at our RGEM model. And I'm going to just go over the color shades real quick before we move on to our other models. If you're in the grays, you're under 2 inches of snow, and really a lot of that probably won't accumulate. It's always important to note that this is only the snow that's going to fall out of the sky. It's not the snow that's going to stick. So anywhere in the grays, you're probably out of dusting, if anything. The blues is where you start to get 2 to 6 inches of snow, probably on the lower end of that. The purples, that's where you're at about 6 to 9 inches of snow, again, probably on the lower end of that. And then there is some pink areas. I see the White Mountains, and then also some of our Adirondacks and the areas just to the east of Lake Ontario where we saw a ton of heavy snowfall for many hours, and then also areas just to the east of Lake Erie there in New York and also in Pennsylvania. That's another area where we could see 10 inches plus there in the pinks. I would say 10 to 15 inches of snow for both of those locations there going to be possible. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our NAM 12KM model, and there is some similarities here, but also some differences. The biggest difference being Lake Erie is not putting off as much snowfall, but Lake Ontario is putting off basically the same amount of snowfall as the RGEM model was showing, so I'm having that pretty much as our bullseye for now. I think right there in the Adirondacks and the areas just to the east of Lake Ontario are probably going to see the most. We also see a ton of snow for the Berkshires and the Green Mountains here, as well as northern Vermont as well, and the White Mountains there. In addition to all of those other areas. So the NAM model is in agreement on many of those New England features. The only difference is the Lake Erie regions. Here's our GFS model, and again, same story, just some areas in the Adirondacks and the areas that are near Lake Ontario are going to be seeing the most snowfall. We see even less snowfall for Lake Erie here, though. So the Lake Erie one is kind of a wild card. The Lake Ontario one we're much more confident in. We still see snowfall for the Berkshires and the Green Mountains, so that's pretty consistent here. Let's just go ahead and move on and take a look at our European model. And this one has a little bit less for the Lake Ontario regions and the Adirondacks, but still, I mean, 6 to 10 inches, maybe even more, is still a lot. Same story for Vermont, the White Mountains. The Berkshire still seeing some snowfall, not quite as much as the other models were showing. but Lake Erie, maybe an inch or two. This one is showing a huge difference. So you might have noticed that there's like a ton of variations in the opinion for Lake Erie, but they're very consistent with the Lake Ontario region. That's kind of what I've picked up on as well. And here's our Canadian model. This one is a lot like our high resolution Canadian model because it's basically the same thing, our RGEM model. So this is just pretty much the same thing. Not much to say here. A lot of snow for Lake Erie, a lot of snow for Lake Ontario. Same story for the Green Mountains and New Hampshire as well. And then last but not least, here is our Icon German model. And this one has even less for Lake Erie, but it still has a ton for Lake Ontario. So that's the one consistency we see here, is that there's a ton of snow expected for the Adirondacks and the areas just to the east of Lake Ontario. Vermont and northern New Hampshire as well, expected to get a lot of snowfall here. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how do you think the ending, I guess the final half of November is going to go? And Zeta Derv, for the second comment of the day in a row, said, I'm thinking the end of November will be near normal in terms of temperature for south central Kansas. And I think that's a good guess at this point. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our diamond patrons, Michael Cutalessa, Mad Birds, Rosemary Haynes, Alicia Davis, Catbite, Terry Curtis, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Kellen Manhart, Michael Buell, Mariah Vieira, and Mark J. Alongside our platinum patrons, Adam S., Alan Belemo, Donna Carnes, Justin Quantrell, Dovie Nagel, James Wade, Larry LePan, and Cameron Marshall. Anyway, I want to thank you all so much for supporting the channel. I hope you guys have been loving the Patreon content that is over there on our Patreon page. If you do, let us know in the comments. Let people know what it's like to be a Patreon and what kind of content you receive there, or if you like it or not. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear it. If you would like to end up on this patron end screen, you can do so by becoming a patron. And you can do that by checking out the link in the description or the pinned comment down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.